Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar today, where we are going to be discussing how hyper-local influencers can fuel big growth for restaurants. My name's Savannah, and I'm the Solutions Marketing Director here at Popmenu, and I'm joined by Macy Smith, our Client Marketing Program Manager.
Hey, everybody. I'm Macy. Super excited to be here with you guys today and chat about influencer marketing.
For those of you who attended our last webinar on influencer marketing for restaurants, welcome back. We're excited to share more on this topic today, and we have a special guest on with us to share their experience working with our team on influencer marketing campaigns. So without further ado, I'm excited to introduce Radley Pilanca. Radley is the restaurant manager at Coyote Grill, and Coyote Grill is located in Laguna Beach, California. They are well known for their Baja-style Mexican cuisine, killer ocean views, and really, really great dishes. So Radley, thanks so much for being here today. Please introduce yourself a little bit to our audience.
Hello, first and foremost, thanks for having me. My name is Radley. I am one of the managers here at Coyote Grill in Laguna Beach. It's a family-owned restaurant. It's been here since '89. If you have not been, if you're ever in town, come stop by and visit us, please.
Awesome. Thanks, Radley. And so before we get started, we're dying to know, what is your favorite dish at Coyote Grill and what makes it special?
I think I speak for a lot of people, hands down, are calamari tacos. They're amazing here. So good that they were featured on Travel Channel's top 10 snacks on the beach in the USA. So, and it goes great with our house margarita as well. We're definitely well known for margaritas. So,
yeah, what a duo there. Thanks, Radley. Well, we're excited for you to be here today. And I know this is your first webinar ever, so we appreciate you joining us. And we'll go ahead and chat through what we'll be covering today. So today we'll cover the basics of influencer marketing for restaurants and why influencer marketing works for restaurants. Then we'll jump into an exciting conversation with Macy, Radley, and I, where we will share these insights and exciting results from Coyote Grill's influencer marketing journey with us so far. And then finally, we'll wrap it all up by sharing some opportunities for you all to begin your influencer marketing strategy. So let's go ahead and dive in. So why does this strategy work for restaurants? And the reason is you've got the goods. Food and drink is one of the top topics that consumers want to see from the influencers they follow. And in 2023, 1 in 4 consumers purchased a product based on an influencer's recommendation. That's a pretty big stat. And 48% of marketers also say that they see more ROI from influencer marketing than they do from other channels. And generally, marketing efforts are always tied to a return on investment goal, right? And of course, on the possibility of exceeding that return on investment goal. But often marketers and restaurant owners alike struggle to connect the dots between their efforts and what they're getting back for their business. So on average, influencer marketing provides just over $5 for every $1 spent. And we'll talk a little bit more today about how you can start seeing this ROI through influencer marketing campaigns. But altogether, what this is telling us is that word of mouth and the way that it works is shifting. And if you want to expand your reach and if you want to get more butts in seats, influencer marketing will get more people talking about your brand and taking action. So you might be thinking, there are a lot of influencers out there. Which ones work for me? And I'm going to pass the mic over to Macy to share a little bit more on that.
Yeah, so thank you for sharing all of those really impactful stats, Savannah. So let's learn, what type of influencers are best for small to mid-sized restaurants. Our answer is nano and micro influencers. McKinsey reported an emergence in a largely untapped market of influencers with smaller following, meaning the micro nano influencers. It found that micro nano influencer strategy yields a positive ROI for brands. And although these influencers are pretty famous across industries right now, I'll share why they're specifically right for restaurants. So the first thing to mention is locality. One of the most important parts of marketing is getting your message in front of that right audience. Nano and micro influencers usually have hyper-local audiences, meaning the majority of people who will see their posts can actually visit your restaurant. The next thing to mention is engagement. The truth is, engagement is much more important than following. And that may be a misconception that a lot of you have today, but it's true. How many people engage with a post is actually more important than how many people follow an influencer. Nano and micro influencers are praised for their authenticity, which results in a higher than average engagement rate. An average engagement rate is between 1 and 3%, but we actually see between 4 and 10% with our nano and micro influencers. The average Instagram engagement rate for food and drink influencer content is only 2%, which really points to the effectiveness of nano and micro influencers. More engagement results in more people having an impactful encounter with your restaurant, even with the smaller following. And we can see that with the example shown here. This post from our campaign with Coyote Grill got a 7.58% engagement, which is not an anomaly. It's actually pretty common results. And the last thing to talk about is the cost effectiveness of this type of influencer. While influencers with more than 50K followers will almost always want upfront payment, smaller influencers are usually open to exchange agreements. This means that they'll post about your restaurant in exchange for a free meal. This keeps the partnership within budget and takes away some pretty intense management steps. With larger creators, there's usually cost negotiation, contracts, and agents to deal with. Keeping in mind that nano and micro influencers are more effective for your business anyways, the cost-effective piece is really just the cherry on top. There's a lot of strategy that goes into a successful campaign, especially for restaurants. So now we're going to do a deep dive into the conversation with Radley and learn all about their winning strategy with their recent campaign. But first, I want to provide some context. So Coyote Grill recently partnered with Popmenu on an influencer campaign where 5 local nano and micro influencers visited their restaurant through exchange agreements. So as I said previously, this means that the influencer visited and posted on their page in exchange for a free meal. This is one of the best types of influencer partnerships for restaurants in terms of ROI. So from the 5 videos, Coyote Grill was able to reach 82,801 locals, saw an average engagement rate of 6.4%, which is 3 times the industry average, and received 1,785 active engagements. In terms of the customer journey, all 81,000 people who saw these videos have now at least entered the awareness stage and are being primed to convert as a customer. However, the 1,785 people who engaged are likely already in the consideration phase, which is an even easier conversion. A like, comment, share, or save, also known as an engagement, are the most valuable types of interaction for content. This type of interaction indicates that Coyote Grill's brand had a memorable digital experience with almost 2,000 people. Let that sink in. 2,000 people. That's huge. To speak on the 6.4 engagement rate, this is the percentage of people who follow the influencer and took one of those valuable interactions, such as a share or a comment. We also saw Coyote Grill's following grow by over 1%, meaning there's lots of new people they can remarket to on their own channels thanks to this campaign. And as we continue to do our quarterly campaigns, their following is just going to continue to grow. The follower growth that we saw with this campaign is average performance, but we have seen up to 37% of follower growth in a campaign, and it really just depends on what's included in the campaign and the influencers who participate. In Coyote Grill's case, they now have nearly 40 new folks who are following them, interested in learning more, and ready to get a taste of Coyote Grill. And we're really excited about that. And continuing to speak on growth, our Boost program offers social media, email, and text message marketing to ensure we continue to maximize on these results and see more butts and seats and online orders. With a Boost marketing partner and creator partnerships, the opportunity for growth is really big for our restaurant partners. So now that I've provided the background, it's time to hear from Radley. So Radley, what's your opinion on the impact of local nano and micro influencers after this campaign, considering some people think high following is the most important metric?
Well, and Radley, last time we talked a little bit about getting in front of the right audience, insights, genuine content. So love for you to share a little bit more about that as well.
Yes, definitely. We look at the biggest success factor in an influencer is getting your restaurant in front of their audience. And for us, we strive on the local influencers because we feel there will be more in return, being that we're a small business. Local influencers will definitely we feel will definitely bring in more local business for us. And we also to be honest, enjoy their content more because it seems more authentic and genuine.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, and that local audience and tracking results is really important. And I know that in our partnership so far, we've been able to look at the demographics on the creators that you worked with and share what percentage of the creators' audience is local to you guys, and also share that campaign data back with you, which I know was important to you in the beginning, correct?
yes.
Awesome. And I love the note that you made about genuine content as well, because there's some recent research that actually shows that consumers are starting to lose a little bit of trust for those big, ginormous influencers, right? And they're actually starting to see themselves more in those local and smaller influencers and prefer their content. So it's cool to hear that that is something that you've also seen work for your business.
Well, speaking of some of that genuine and authentic content, I want to show you guys some examples of the reels that we got from our partnership with Coyote Grill. So I'm going to show you guys two different types. These are kind of like the most common types of content that we'll receive from influencers. So let's take a look at the first one.
Located steps away from the beach is Coyote Grill in Laguna Beach. This is the perfect spot away from the hustle and bustle with a view of Catalina Island. It's such a chill and non-pretentious atmosphere, and it's filled with locals. It honestly reminds me of Malibu. My friend and I started off with a mimosa and some chips and guac. Onto the dishes. I never had fried calamari tacos before, and this is what they're known for. So I had to try it, and this was definitely a 10 out of 10. We also had some enchiladas, fajitas, and it comes with sides, so we had to get the elote. The interior honestly makes me feel like I'm in Mexico. They have happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. So this is the perfect place to get the party started or keep it going.
Shout out to the calamari tacos. Yeah, so that's a great example of a voiceover video where the influencer is almost just talking to a friend, right? Just talking to their super tight-knit audience. But now we're going to take a look at a different style of reel that we got for Coyote Grill.
Think I'll take my whiskey.
Awesome. That one just makes you want to sing along. And so you can see how that's a really successful strategy that influencers use of kind of pulling a trending song, but then using it to promote your business and get lots of new eyes on your business. So yeah, we were really happy to see these videos come through with the campaign. And this is pretty average performance. Like we typically see these types of videos for all of our campaigns. So yeah.
Yeah, and this is 2 out of 5. So we get lots of different videos and work with a lot of different creators with each of our partners as well.
Awesome. So now let's talk about the differences between micro and macro influencers. There's a lot of talk right now about which type of influencer is best to partner with. It's pretty obvious who we're fans of, but it's important to talk about why macro influencers usually aren't the right fit for restaurants. Non-local audiences is the top reason why I prefer micro and nano influencers for our clients. Someone with more than 50K followers will more than likely have an audience that's pretty spread across the country, but your marketing focus and your marketing dollars really need to be going to people, need to be focusing on people who can actually visit your restaurant, right? So that local piece is really important. They also charge more per post due to their larger reach. But the catch there is that you're paying your hard-earned money for an audience that might not be your client base. So definitely something to consider. Another risky thing about macro influencers is there's no true ROI promise. There's commonly a big investment, but it's a gamble of whether their audience will be able to get butts and seats. Nano and micro influencers require only the investment of that free meal and allow you to work with more people to give you more of a chance of the success that you're looking for. Plus, 82% of consumers said they're more likely to follow a smaller influencer's recommendation anyway. So this really speaks to the worthwhile effort and impact of working with nano and micro influencers. And the last thing to consider with macro influencers is agents and contracts. Most influencers with over 50K following usually have an agent that will help them get deals, but that means inflated rates because the agent has to get paid too, right? Additionally, contracts can be long and messy, and if you don't read them properly, you could get into an agreement that you didn't ask for, and we really don't want that. So casual influencer partnerships make more sense for busy restaurant owners and managers, or at least that's what we've seen through our experience so far. But Radley, let's hear from you. What do you think is the biggest misconception about influencers?
I think the biggest misconception is everybody thinks, and we've thought the same, is it worth it? Is it worth the money? And to be honest, it definitely is worth it. It shows that it will bring us business, like especially like the local influencers.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear, Radley. And like I said before, we see that a lot with restaurants that believe that it might not be worth it for them because they don't have a big enough brand. They're not a big restaurant group, maybe. But we talked about this earlier. Like, it's so worth it to start building those relationships in your community and building that reach in your community. And it's been really cool to see the reach that you guys got from just your first campaign with influencer marketing so far.
Yeah, so from our experiences, it's definitely worth it. So if you're thinking about doing it, I'd say go for it.
Awesome. Thanks, Radley.
Yeah, we love to hear that. And one more thing to add there, like if you're on the edge of like, is it worth it? Is it not worth it? I think working with nano and micro influencers makes it even easier to kind of get started with the industry, since it's not that like with a macro influencer, you maybe drop in some cash on that first partnership, but with smaller influencers, it's a lot easier to get started. So yeah, something to keep in mind. So with the journey from macro to micro influencers, there's inevitable learnings to be had, and I think it's a great time to talk through a few of these learnings. One that I've mentioned time and time again because it is that important is locality. The restaurant business isn't like e-commerce where anybody in the country could be a customer. I mean, at least not for small to mid-size restaurants. So it's really essential that you spend your marketing time and investment on influencers who can get your message in front of the right local audience for you. Another thing to keep in mind is quality and quantity. A big misconception is that larger influencers provide better content and results, but sometimes smaller influencers actually can make better content because they're so hungry to grow. You can get high quality content and audiences from micro and nano influencers, and with exchange agreements, you can afford to get more of this high quality content and partnership. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. And the last learning is partnering with experts is helpful. Restaurant owners and managers wear lots of hats. The truth is, good influencer marketing takes a lot of time. It's a relationship building game, and there's really no room to cut corners. Influencers are really used to brands trying to automate the relationship, and they honestly see right through it. So passing this task off to someone with the expertise and time to make it a success is usually worth it. So Radley, you've had the experience of doing it all by yourself and also partnering with us. How did your partnership with Popmenu Boost help make working with influencers easier?
First of all, it's been amazing, and it's definitely helped us out a lot. Ever since partnering with Popmenu and their influencer program, it's taken a lot off our plates. For my boss and I, we're usually the ones trying to create our own content, and that's where it's time consuming. So it definitely helps that Popmenu, they find the influencers for us, and the influencers do their thing and create the content for us. So it's been great.
Awesome. And Radley, I know that when we were talking earlier, that one thing that you mentioned to me was you're really passionate about providing a great experience to your guests so that they keep coming back for more, right? And yes. It's been really great to partner with you so that we could take that content creation and those relationship building efforts with influencers and all of that jazz off your plate so that you can focus on that really passionate part of your role too.
Mm-hmm. Getting those calamari tacos out.
Yeah.
And the margaritas.
And the margaritas. You can't forget the margaritas.
Perfect pair. Perfect pairing.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, we've shared a lot of information today so far, and Radley, it's been fun to hear more about your influencer campaign success and to talk about the success of the campaign with you for this webinar. We're really excited for the next campaign round, and we have some really fun ideas to share with you, some new things to pitch, some new ideas for the next campaign. So we're really stoked about that. But as we wrap up today's webinar, it's clear that influencer marketing is no longer a nice to have, but rather it's a necessity for our independent restaurants looking for growth. And like I shared before, if you want to expand your reach and if you want to get more butts in seats, influencer marketing will really get people talking about your brand and taking the action that you want them to take with your business. And Coyote Grill is a great example of this. And we'll be hosting more webinars this summer to share the success of some of our other clients and what they've seen with influencer marketing as well. So we definitely encourage you to join and to continue learning with us.
Thank you so much for joining the webinar today. It's really been awesome learning with you. And just a huge thanks to Radley for sharing his experience throughout the chat today. Radley, do you want to share some final thoughts?
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having me. It's first time being on a webinar, so it was definitely an experience, but it's been great and fun. I definitely look forward to working more with you ladies from Popmenu and doing more business.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, Radley.
Yeah, we've had a blast partnering with you, Radley. Awesome. So if anyone on the webinar today would like to learn more about how Popmenu can help you with influencer marketing, be sure to request a demo through our website, reach out to your client success manager, sales rep, our support center, and check out the follow-up materials in your email that will be coming shortly. But just want to say thank you again. We'll see you on the next webinar. And bye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Radley.
Bye. Thank you.